Good evening and welcome. Lovely Wednesday evening and a very good time to talk about sports on Channels Television. My name is Yemi Adebayo, and as I welcome you to tonight's edition of the show, there's a lot to talk about tonight. Of course, FIFA Club World Cup on our minds. Right now, as we speak, a match currently going on is goalless. The match between Raja Casablanca and South American champions Atletico Mineiro. And of course, a whole lot of other things to talk about. Super Eagles in the news, the preparation for the 2014 African Nations Championship. And of course, Coach Stephen Keshi has been talking. And of course, on the show tonight, we'll bring to you what the appeal that Keshi has for the fans. We'll look at all of that. We'll look at the draws for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. We'll also look at matches played yesterday in the Capital One, that's in England. And of course, some of the results we're not able to bring to you on the show last night. And of course, we'll talk about basketball on the show tonight. That's the outlook of the show tonight. But of course, I'm not going to be alone on the show. Starting off the show with me, starting on the other side. Usually it's on this side, but it's starting off on the other side tonight. I have the pleasure of having Tony Bitori with me on the show. Tony, let me welcome you.
Yemi, it's a pleasure to be on this side of all sports tonight and have you on that side.
Okay. All right. There's a lot to talk about. Like I said, Dun Nadio Konta will join us later on the show. And of course, he will be talking to us about basketball, the African Club Cup Championship. He will be filling us in on what happened to Nigeria's representative Kano Pillars. He will be filling us in on that. Of course, on the show tonight, we would love to have you interact with us. Let us, on so many issues that we've raised, let us know how you feel, your comments, your reactions about all of those things. We'd like to have you participate in what we are going to be doing on the show tonight. Okay, Tony, let's dive straight into it. Let's talk about the Chan Eagles, like you like to call them. We shouldn't be calling them. Some don't like us calling them home-based Eagles, but they had a good result against Niger Tornadoes, and well, preparations are beginning in earnest.
Yeah, we talked about the Eagles, the Chan Eagles. I mean, the non-availability of top quality friendly games.
Yeah.
And our submission is that you have to make do
with what you have
available. And what you have available right now, well, some people may not look at it as being the best available for the Eagles, but that's what they have. And that's what they have to use to get ready for the Chan. They have to play friendlies, as many friendlies as they can. The other day they played a team in the National League, Prisons of Abuja, won the game by 4-1. Today they play Tornadoes, another team in the National League, and they won by 2-0. So
I hope these results
we have to get used to
flatter them, because you start taking out your opponents 4-0, 5-0.
No, I'm sure they are not going to be flattered by this, because these are lower division teams. These are
teams that have been inactive at best.
They are also inactive. No league right now is on in Nigeria. Premier League is not on. National League is not on. So these teams are also emerging teams, also trying to test new players and prepare for the new season. So this is the best that they can get at this point in time, and they just have to make do with whatever is available. And we hope that it will be good enough to put our boys in shape. Maybe by the time the final squad is named and the team travels out to South Africa for the Chan, they will be able to play friendly games against some South African teams who are already in the middle of their own season. Okay. For stronger tests before the Chan begins.
I'm hoping that we'll get to see the pictures of the match between the Home Eagles and Niger Tornadoes. But quickly, let me ask you, Tony, as someone who's been across a lot of match venues in Nigeria, you know some of those players very well. Some of us read about them on the papers and get to see
the Home Eagles, the Chan Eagles.
Which player or which players do you think should be in camp that is not there as we speak?
It's a tough one. You only can go to the tournament with 21 players.
Yeah.
But you know, you want to assume that Keshi has called those he has been working with and those that he believes can deliver for him. But surely you will always want some other players who have not been called up, who you have seen on a couple of occasions try out with the team. I mean, when you look at somebody like Rashid Olabi of Enyimba, very solid, hardworking, energetic defender, full of running. You also look at the defenders, the Ugu Wadegu, left back of Enyimba, who scored one of the best goals you will ever see in the Federation Cup final against Warri Wolves, the free kick goal. You look at the central defender, the captain of Enyimba, Chinedu Udoji. I mean, you look at these players and you feel these guys should have had a look into the Chan Eagles. But while you may want to query that, you also have to respect those that Keshi has called up, those he's worked with, is familiar with, and given the fact that we have very little time between now and when the Chan is starting, he probably wants to go with those he knows already, that will take little time to instruct and to imbibe the style you want to play into these guys, and possibly go to South Africa to get the results. Okay,
before we leave the Chan Eagles, as we look forward to South Africa 2014, where the competition will take place, what should our expectations be? Because, you know, South Africa is a good hunting ground. Should we go there relying on luck? Should we expect that Nigeria will win? Or at best, what level of performance would to you be success for Nigeria?
You know, the good thing about Nigeria is that every tournament that we go for, we assume we can win.
Yes.
And we want to win. Not just win narrowly or struggle to win. We like to win, I mean, in style. Dominate everybody. Even if you are playing against the best teams in the world, that's the same thing Nigerians want. You want to dominate and win well, like the Golden Eaglets did at the Under-17 World Cup. That's how you want to win all your games, 3-0, 5-0. But the reality is that it's not going to be the same. For me, this is the first time we are going for Chan. This is the first time we are qualifying for Chan. And Keshi has told these boys, look, the Chan, he's told the home-based players, the Chan is your opportunity to try to force yourself into the World Cup squad.
Yes.
So if we are able to see a few of these players go to the Chan and play like those who can probably fight for a place in the World Cup squad, that would be good for me.
Probably give us something we've not seen.
Give us something extra. Give us options, particularly in the defense. Let's see more options. That's where we're really short on supply in the defense. So if we go to the Chan and we're able to see one or two of these defenders
maybe in attack,
we have a lot of attackers already. I mean, when you look at the Emenike and you look at
some we have that apart from Emenike,
we have I'm not sure any home-based player, unless you play out of your skin, I'm not sure any home-based players can really
make the cut,
fight for that space in attack. It's extra loaded. Even those outside, the opener supporters are still hoping that they are still waiting on the sideline, the Martins, the Keshi. But the defense, we're short on supply. Right back, left back, central defense, we still have a lot of room to accommodate anybody that is a standout player. So for me, if we go to the Chan and we are able to discover one or two or three players to bring in that extra option in defense, it will be success for us. At the same time, we want to go there to win. We've never been to Chan before, but I want to see Nigeria go there, play with the typical Nigerian spirit, not be disgraced, and not get knocked out just anyhow. Maybe if we play up to the semi-finals, that would be okay for me. From the semi-finals, you know, as we always say, one game at a time.
Once you get to that point,
anything is a possibility.
Okay, let's go to the main team, the Super Eagles, and well, it's heartwarming anytime you listen to Keshi, because he cuts the picture of a man who knows what he's doing, and he always tells you say things the way they are. And of course today he told us, Nigerian fans, please be realistic in your expectations from this team, and don't expect this team to win the World Cup. Does that, you know, does that crush our hopes? Does that make us expect a below par performance? Because there are many ways you could interpret it. Some will say he's already putting an excuse on the bag. Some will say he's playing 9 games. But how do you?
Let's listen to Keshi first. Let's see how Keshi say it himself first.
Okay.
Then when we listen to what he says, the context of his statement, because
then we can begin to make our own interpretation.
Yes, because you don't want to quote him out of context as saying, look, forget about it. No, every team that's going to a World Cup should go there
and win.
And have at the back of their mind that, look,
you can win.
I can win. At the same time, you need that reality check that, look, I have never gone beyond this stage before. So if I'm able to achieve this stage and probably go 1 or 2 steps above my normal stage, then that could be success for me. So let's get the context with which Keshi is talking, and then we'll be able to talk more about it.
Okay, since Tony has said that, what we're going to do right now, if we're ready, let's listen to Coach Stephen Keshi at the media party today, what he had to say, some of the things I just brought out to you, and listen to him in his own words before we begin to draw conclusions, read meanings, read in between the line, and all the whatnots. Let's listen to Coach Stephen Keshi on the show tonight.
I don't want to deceive anybody. If I have what it takes, I will tell you now. I'm not saying we're going there to add up to the teams that are coming in. I'm not saying that, but we have to speak the truth. We don't have what it takes now. Down the road, maybe 2-3 weeks from now, we might be able to find something together. But right now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm going there to win the cup. No, far from it. We will go, make Nigerians proud. No, we're trying to see if we can get our camping site in US. It's not far from Brazil, and the weather is very hot at that period too. And if we can get it, that'll be good. That's the only information I can give you now about the program. Well, just look at it. We played against Iran, Bosnia, and Argentina. So we need a team that plays the same style of football as they play, and that's it.
So which one is in your mind? As a technical man, which country do you think plays like all these countries?
Well, the thing is, if the other countries, they are available, because they might not be available, maybe they've had their own program going on. So already we had there, I had, is it Japan? Japan, the guy wanted to talk to me, but it's not what I want now. But if we don't get close to what we want, then we might be out there for something else.
Because would have asked for more in that draw.
More what?
Would have asked for more? Would have gotten a more comfortable draw more than the one you have?
I don't know. Whatever comes in. We're bound to play against any team out there if we progress in the tournament and all the stuff. So it doesn't matter who we play in first game or we play in the grouping stage. It doesn't matter really. It's 11 against 11. What's going to come out is how determined we are, the desire we have in us to win the game, and you still have a little bit of luck.
Well, welcome back. That was Coach Stephen Keshi. He had interesting things to say. Well, of course, Dunadi Okonta just joins us on the show. Let me quickly welcome you, Dunadi.
It's my pleasure. Good evening.
Well, you listen to Coach Stephen Keshi. Let me allow you to react to some of the things he had to say, especially the parts about the World Cup, whether or not we can win the World Cup. So let me quickly get your reactions to what he said.
Well, whether Keshi says we will win the World Cup or not, it depends on him. I always tell everyone, if they ask you, if you are leading a team to a tournament, they ask you, what are your chances? The first thing you say, our chances are bright, we'll win the tournament. Yeah. Even if you are assembling 7 players at the World Cup, your chances are going to be bright, because once in the head of a delegation try to downplay the opportunity of winning, to downplay the expectation, you don't expect your others, when you can't inspire confidence in your team. What are the other members of the team? What do you expect them to do? So yes, you will say so, because some teams in Africa have gotten close to the semi-final. Close. When you have their coaches, they will tell you, we can win the World Cup. Nobody expected them to get to that stage, because sometimes you look at providence in football, it could happen at one point. You avoid some of those big teams, and you see some of those be cashed out at the World Cup, paying way for your victories. And sometimes you look at the performance of the other team, even though before the World Cup they are top notch, they are some of the best team. They had impressive ones, they have unbeaten ones. When they get to the World Cup, I don't know what will happen at the World Cup. So things will need to take shape at the World Cup. But as you progress at the World Cup, you need to see the opportunities of winning the title. No team will tell you that we are going to the World Cup to lose, or we are going there as tourists, or we are going there to do shopping. Nobody will tell you that.
Okay, all right. Tony, let me listen to what you have to say. Does that dampen your morale in any way? A lot of people will expect coaches to come out and promise everything, but does that dampen your morale?
Keshi has said, for me, he has said the right thing, because I think the objective of all that he's saying is to make us
realistic,
moderate in our expectations.